Welcome to Retro Spectrum, the podcast where we talk about a lot of music. And this week, we're talking about the epic Tina Turner.
That's right. Join us in the Thunderdome. 2 podcast hosts enter, 1 podcast host leaves.
I don't know if I signed up for that.
Who's it going to be?
Although I will say that I'm definitely going to be Iron Bar for Halloween, and I encourage any of our listeners that desire to join me in the Thunderdome-themed Halloween attire to do so and post pictures.
Our Master Blaster combo uniform's probably not going to pan out this year, but one day.
I want to see you as Auntie Entity.
I've got the hair. I'm halfway there. Oh, I do want to clarify that in this episode, we focus mainly on Tina's solo discography. There's a little bit of discussion of the pre-solo stuff with Ike, but we really wanted to talk mostly about her and her career, where she was kind of the one in the driver's seat. So for this episode, we focus on albums released basically after 1974, which comes in at 11 different albums. Of course, we also do get in the weeds on Thunderdome and the soundtrack and all that stuff. So just want to clarify that if you're missing out, or if you're looking for like the 60s stuff, we didn't really get too much into that.
So here we go. Get ready for Tina Turner. I feel hungover and I didn't even drink last night. Not a single sip of anything.
Allergies?
Except water.
Maybe.
I fucking have no idea. Just because I'm old and stayed up late. You got a label on the bottom of that mug still. Oh, is that the Engage mug?
Engage.
How did I not take that off?
Energize.
I'm surprised I didn't take that label off. Energize, my bad. I usually take labels off things. I don't know what the fuck I was doing leaving that on.
It's been through the dishwasher a bunch. It may just be part of the cup now.
I'm glad you like that. I like the tallness of it. I actually have a similarly shaped mug that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's got a good grip. We bought some at a garage sale the other day that are the Morton Salt Girl. Like
Cute.
the Morton Salt mugs. There's 2 of them, and they're smaller. They're like teacup mug size. But the little knob here for your thumb has a little thumb rest. Like it divots in, so your thumb can just like.
I love those.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I love those little thumb divots. This one's from the Native Ag conference that I went to. This was one of the swag pieces they were giving out. This was the best swag.
Oh my God, the cat is in the room with you.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I told you this was going to happen from day one.
He's literally only allowed on that chair, and he knows it. So he doesn't even try to go anywhere else. He just lays in that chair and then leaves when he feels like it.
Enjoy that
It's
while it
pretty
lasts.
cool. No, he's very smart and totally listens to me. It's weird, honestly, because that's what I don't like about cats is they're not as trainable. That's one of the main things I don't like about them. The main thing is the smell of their excrement.
Well, that's my favorite thing. It's what I'm in the cat business for.
But luckily, his excrement, I'm not involved in any of that process. So 2 thumbs up from this cat guy.
What documentary did you just get done watching?
Simply the Best. Did you watch the one called Tina?
Yes.
Good, because I wanted to watch that one, but
Did
it's
you?
behind a paywall. No.
It's on. Yeah, I've got the key to the wall.
Yeah, it's like what, Showtime or something?
HBO.
Those 2 are the same to me. I don't know the fucking difference.
Star Trek, Looney Tunes.
Still, which one was Switch? Warner was Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm more of a CBS guy then. I mean, Looney Tunes is fine. It was semi-intellectual as well, but I'm for a cartoon for back in the day.
Yeah, there's probably some you wouldn't want to hold up as an example of the
Definitely not.
form.
There's a shitload of like racist ones and whatever.
Yeah, you can't really consume any media made before like this week
Oh, yeah.
without
yeah.
running into some.
Yeah. I mean, even a lot of the media made this week is still.
Right. No, but I'm saying best chances this week.
So last night I went to a play.
Yeah.
And it was so good. Like I already knew it was going to be good because I read it. I was surprised at how much better it was than reading it to see people do it, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just a staged reading. Like it wasn't a full on production or anything, but it was really fucking good. And the whole audience was just so into it. It was super funny, and the audience was like fucking laughing throughout the whole thing. And then we went to a bar nearby afterwards, which normally I would just bail on at that point because it's like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And I'm old and tired. And For fuck's sake, I closed the bar with these young people.
Wow.
I can't believe it. And I didn't drink the whole time either. So it was like fucking weird. And I'm so tired now. I didn't go to sleep till like 5. So
Was it weird seeing 2 o'clock completely sober while everyone else was, I'm assuming, not?
well, a few of the people actually there were non-drinkers, and nobody was like
Oh, yeah.
super wasted or anything. It was kind of nice being around youths that weren't wasted. You know, it was really nice actually, because most of them have like fucking ADHD or autism or both, and also they're all theater kids. Most of them are queer, you know. So it was like these people I'm on the same page as for the most
Yeah.
part. You know, it was pretty cool. It's really just so crazy how different situations can be depending on the company, you know, like other people in the bar that I was observing were not people that I would want to be there with. And just thinking about the comfortability of being around people that are like you is such a relief. It's just something I experienced so rarely that it was really nice, which is probably why I stayed that long, because I was just having a nice time, you know? I was bouncing around talking to like different people. I didn't talk to every single person that we were with, but most people I gave a few minutes to at least, and had like a legit conversation with each person, you know? It was cool. I kind of had fun.
Did you wake up without anxiety? Like, did you feel weird today when you got back? Like, I wish I wouldn't have said that, or
A little bit, but it was way less than normal.
yeah,
Way
like if
less
you would
than
have been
normal.
drinking and hanging out.
And just normal sober hanging out. Like I have that feeling all the time, just because I think it's like a rumination factor that I have a problem with, and I do a lot of overthinking, I guess. So normally I would do that whether I drank or not, but I did that very minimally this time. I noted that this morning actually, because when I woke up this morning is when it started, and normally it starts at night, like right after the event when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I like can't go to sleep because of that, but I think because I stayed up so late, I was like too dead to fucking think anymore. And you know, with the lifelong insomnia that I've had, I think that's probably a huge factor of why I've always been like a night owl too, because like I have to get so tired that I can't think anymore to be able to actually sleep, you know?
I recommend a little sleep vitamins.
I fucking take all the shit, dude. And I talked about Tina to multiple people last night. I fucking love Tina Turner, dude.
Musically or personally or both?
Both. And I felt like her story kind of had some parallels with Patsy a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because she was like from middle of nowhere, the South, grew up poor, grew up in a shitty upbringing, and came up from nothing, kind of like Patsy.
Yeah.
Tina actually finished high school, though.
I think there are some parallels, that kind of being self-made a little bit. Also being like singers versus songwriter, like a lot of career built on singing other people's material.
Well, that's kind of how it had to be back then, especially for women.
Yeah. I don't mean it as a judgment, just like they were singing other people's songs a lot, or working with songwriters and stuff. Then. I just watched that Tina documentary.
I watched Tina Turner's Simply the Best.
Mm-hmm.
I watched one called Ike and Tina, which should have just been called Ike because it was made by his family, and it was like,
oh no, I couldn't have made it through that.
It was so fucking annoying.
He's even in this one, the Tina one, and it's just like, dude, shut up. I don't need to hear you.
I read interviews from him and shit. I don't want to give him too much time because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Like almost zero.
Yeah, but like I read fucking interviews from him, and like the documentary that his family made was like, they made him look so bad. Like Tina made him look so bad in that book and in the movie, whatever. What's Love Got to Do with It? I watched, and they talked shit about it and like how bad they made, like ruined his reputation, whatever. And it was like, no, he had the reputation of being a angry psycho already before any of that shit came out. And then also he admits to doing all of it. So it's like, why are you defending this person who literally admits to doing every single one of those things? Like it's almost like he brags about it.
They inducted him into the Hall of Fame in 1991.
So fucking annoying.
And then he won a Grammy in like 2018 or something. So it's like, oh yeah, bullshit. Your reputation really ruined.
Did he posthumously win a Grammy? Because he died in 2007. Thank God he died before Tina. I am so fucking happy for her that she was. I agree, but I'm so so happy for her that she was able to live. She had the first half of her life be really fucking horrible, but the last half was so good for her. And so that makes me really, really happy. She finally got what she deserved, you know?
It was 2007 that he won. Everything gets framed around him, and it pisses me off.
Same, dude. He's a piece of shit.
Reading
Fuck
interviews,
that guy. And also, like, he takes credit for everything she ever did. And it's like, bitch, you used her talent to make yourself
you rode the
popular,
coattails, and everybody knew it. Like, everybody.
Yeah, and he literally had her like trapped
because
like,
without
her, he's nothing. Yeah.
Yes. What did he?
Like, he's a fucking talented musician or whatever. Like, so are a million other people. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no excuse.
Agreed. And it came out later that that guy diagnosed in his later years with bipolar, and it's like still not a fucking excuse.
Not an excuse.
You're a piece of shit.
Because the documentary, you know, it goes through the story of her life or whatever, and the first half is traumatic. It's hard to watch, and the point that I ended on right when I went to get on here was like right before she met her husband, and the whole like section was about how she just wanted to be loved. She didn't grow up loved. Her parents didn't love her. You know, her husband was abusive, and she like got really successful, but like never experienced. And the whole thing,
I related to a lot of that.
What is wrong with me? You know, like why don't. And so it was like a really hard part to like, oh, I'm done. I'm going to go record this. So when you said you needed 10 more minutes or whatever, I was like, okay.
So you didn't finish?
No, I did.
Oh, you did finish.
When you were finishing yours, I pulled it back up. And, you know, the last half does get into her meeting her new husband and them living the rest of their life together. And
yeah, so I read her second book, the one about love.
Yeah. Here's what love has to do with it.
I don't think so.
Okay. She didn't just answer the rhetorical question. Guys, I figured out.
What I want to know is, what is a secondhand emotion? I did some Googling on that, and there was not really a definitive answer.
A secondhand. Okay, let's analyze this. So secondhand means that it has been used by someone before, that it's not new, that it's like doesn't have the same value as a firsthand. It's like something you hear about from someone else rather than something you experience. That's my interpretation.
Yeah. Okay. I read so many interpretations of secondhand emotion online, but one of them was like something that you kind of feel second after something else, like a secondary thing, or like a thing as a result of something else. The book was called My Love Story. And I couldn't find I, Tina, which was her first book she wrote in 1986 after she finally escaped that piece of shit. And she met her second husband in 1986 as well.
They didn't get married until 2013.
Yeah, they were together for like 20 something years, almost 30 years. So her first book, I couldn't find a copy of that, but I found a podcast that broke down the whole thing and like read excerpts out of it and stuff. So I kind of feel like I read that one too.
Yeah. Well, and if you watch the movie, isn't the movie based on a lot of it?
Yes, but
loosely.
No. No. That movie, like, fuck that movie. And also Tina didn't even finish it because she like got halfway through it and was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like the inaccuracies and the over dramatized shit, she wasn't into it. So she never even finished it.
Kind of to the point where I don't even want to watch the biopics about the artists because they're just garbage, like made up or left over, or like leave such important things out.
Angela Bassett did a good job, which is no surprise. She's really good. Oh my God. And she's stunning too. And it was Tina's vocals, and Angela Bassett did a fucking primo job lip syncing. Like, I had to Google if she was actually singing because she was really convincing with lip syncing, which a lot of people in those biopics are not, you know? So yeah, I was pretty impressed by her performance, but everything else was no thanks. It was just kind of glorifying the abuse, sort of, is what it...
Or like making that the whole...
Yeah. And it like overly victimized her, kind of. Which obviously she was a victim, but she wasn't playing the victim. She fucking was a bad bitch, you know, like, and just doing what she needed to do to survive in reality. And they fucking had rape scenes in there. It's like, yeah, we know he raped her a bunch, but I don't really need to see that.
Well, and I can imagine not, you know, the stuff that I saw of her with the movie was like, I lived it. I wrote this book. So now you guys can know what the story is. And this isn't really for me. This is so I don't have to talk about this anymore because go
Right,
watch the
right.
movie. You want to know about it? Go watch the movie. Go read the book, whatever. Quit asking me about it.
She wanted to retire and stop talking about herself like way before she actually finally did.
Well, I think it's reasonable, man. I read interviews all the way up through the
Yeah,
90s.
she's like, I just want
And
to
it
be a
was
human
like
and live my life.
every interview would drag stuff up and ask like really horrible questions and like what's the worst thing that ever happened and all that stuff. And there's one Rolling Stone where they like, well, your mom left you and blah blah blah, and they kind of answers about that, and she's like, well, your dad left you too when you were 13, and she's like, yeah, and kind of answered it. And then the interviewer's like, well, I just can't imagine anything worse than both your parents leave. It's like,
yeah, my life sucks.
yeah, get past
what
it.
do
And
you want from
this
me?
was 86 or 87. You know what I mean? Like height of her fame.
Yeah.
It was just so disrespectful of her as a human, like to sit there and ask, I'm going to bring up the things that I think are going to hurt you the most. And then we're going to record this conversation and then I'm going to post it in my magazine.
Fucking profit off of it.
Yeah, I it was gross. I could see really having a short fuse with that. I think she handled it much better than anybody
she
deserved.
has so much grace. Oh my God. Yeah. Agreed. I mean, she is the portrait of resilience just as a human. She's fucking incredible. Like strong, bad bitch that finally got what she deserved, which was so amazing,
Are you converting to Buddhism?
Low key, fucking for real. I was like, well, and I already know the chant because I went on a sort of a date with this girl one time, and the date ended up being her bringing me to her parents' house where there was like a whole room full of people chanting that. And so she like had me sit there with them and chant for a little bit. So I've done that chant before. So when like it came up on the documentary, I was like, oh yeah, I know that chant. I mean, the Buddhist vibe is always the religion, like Buddhism and like paganism or Wicca or something would be the ones that I would relate to the most for sure. Anyway, so
if you were forced to adopt one, well, do that. That'll be a fun journey to document
experiment
as well.
To see if my life gets better.
Yeah.
If I just chant for 3 hours a day or whatever.
Worked for Tina.
I don't know how the fuck people find time to do that. Also, how does it work? I think it's just like it's like meditating.
I think that is exactly what it is.
And I meditate every day without the chant. So I don't know. Do I need the chant? I'll fucking give it a go. I'm not gonna lie, it gets stuck in your head. So I've been chanting it randomly since I fucking watched whatever I watched with her doing it.
She did it. The only thing that I found recorded after she like retired was she recorded the chants. It's called Beyond Music.
Yeah, did you listen to those?
I watched about 25 seconds of a YouTube video of it just to see what it was. And it's like, slow meditative music with her reciting.
She also wrote a third book that is about that stuff, which I didn't get around to. I mean, I watched so many things and read so many things and listened to so many things.
It really was a pretty good commercial for Buddhism, though.
Yeah, totally.
I think it ties in with the way that her music is a framework to talk about her music as well, because she said she started to do it. And that's really when she figured out like who she was. And then her confidence as like a human being in her own right grew, like her confidence in herself, which got her to the point where she could leave Ike and then go out and do her solo tour and stuff, or like her solo career. But it was like, good job. I don't know. She cracked the code. It really worked for her and seems like was a really tangible positive.
Yeah. Super badass. Go Tina.
Yeah.
I fucking love her, dude. And she's a Capricorn, which, Patty is also.
That could be one of my tags I could use as a connection in here. You want to hear some connections?
Yes.
I did connect her to Chumbawamba, Sly and the Family Stone, Spice Girls, Patsy Cline, and Tribe. So she fits in pretty neatly with a lot of the other artists. So with
Phil Spector is definitely a hub.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you throw, I didn't even go. This was like solo stuff, though. I didn't do any research about any of the albums.
Phil Spector, her shit with Phil Spector was also solo. He specifically did not want Ike and specifically said no Ike, only Tina.
Right, but I only focused on the post. Like 1974 was the first, like after it wasn't part of the review or whatever.
But the song that she did with him is on Simply the Best. Or What's Love Got to Do with It? It's on one of those.
The comp albums. I didn't do best of. I don't usually.
It's on Simply the Best. Yeah.
What is that? Oh, that's like a greatest hits.
Oh, okay. I noticed that she shows a lot of body on her album covers, which I tend to enjoy.
In general or with her specifically?
Both. Like in the first album cover, she's not even wearing anything. That's just like a little fabric draped over her. She's like naked on there, which is pretty impressive for 1974. And the fact that it's Tina Turns the Country On, which is the shot didn't seem very country to me. And the album didn't seem that country to me either.
I think that is like the title of that album.
She's turning people on.
Yeah, but she's also singing country songs.
And she's naked.
She's turning the country on. It was pretty country. I mean, did you look at the list of artists that were covered on there?
No.
It's got like Dolly Parton and Chris Christopherson.
But when she does it, it's not as country as when they do it, you know?
So starting with that one, I was like expecting, because I still think, Tina Turner in my brain is still the 60s rock and roll,
That's
like
so interesting.
60s version. And so listening to this was like, oh, this is a lot more country than I anticipated. I didn't know that she did any country anything.
It was kind of gospel-ish too.
Yeah. All three of those first albums were just released on streaming last year, at like November of last year. Like they haven't been on streaming ever up until this point. They're hard to get. Like they're not re-released. I don't really think get thought of in her like
oeuvre.
Yeah. Like I think they're kind of forgotten albums. One of them was only released in Europe. It wasn't even released in the US.
Rough.
Yeah. And then I think that country one was like, I don't know. It felt like a weird kind of not leftover, but kind of like she was leaving the review and trying to start her own thing. And it all kind of felt like we're trying a little bit of everything. We're going to do some country. We're going to do some
dude.
R&B.
She was fucking scraping the barrel for anything she could because she was in survival mode.
Yeah. Going to do some disco. Going to do some.
Yeah. The second one was a funky disco vibe, which I liked. And then I was like, is she doing LSD a lot or something? Acid Queen. But then I found out that she's never even done any drugs. And it was just from the movie Tommy, which I also watched, which I would recommend.
Where she is the Acid Queen. It's funny to have her as the Acid Queen.
Yeah, she said she naively did not know that it was about drugs, like that her character was about drugs as she was doing it.
Most people I would think like, yeah, right. But like, I kind of buy that. I kind of do think that she was.
I do too.
Sheltered to a point where it's like, yeah,
she was a little country girl
who
hadn't seen that shit before.
Yeah.
And I relate. Like, yeah, I related to her on a lot of levels.
That's a pull quote for
a comment. I say that every time.
Episode. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That just goes to show you that we're all fucking human, and you can find commonalities between even two of the most different seeming people, which is sort of like one of my things in life. Like I like to go talk to like the old Republican man that looks like he wants to kill me. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, let's have a conversation and figure out what we have in common here. That interests me.
I read a really good interview with her in the Harvard Business Review of all places, but it talked a lot about, it was a later 2010s ish. But it talked a lot about her Buddhism and just like views on life. And one of the things that she mentioned, there were a bunch of things that she said that like really kind of got me on board. It was one of the last interviews that I read, but right before I watched that doc, was that she's not a superhuman. She just like figured out how to do all this stuff and then went and did it. And if she could do it, anybody could go do it, which to me is one of my favorite things about music and like music figures or whatever is it is kind of, if you want to go do it, you can go do it if you're willing to put the work in. And, not that you'll necessarily be successful, but
right. You might not be good at it,
but the only thing keeping you from doing it is doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about most things too.
How'd you feel? I kind of grouped those first three albums together. How did you feel about those? The country one, Acid Queen, and Rough.
I was like, the bitch is back, baby.
Yeah. What a great way to,
the Elton John cover.
Yeah.
So good. It felt like a little bit more mature, and I felt like she was really starting to kind of grow into her on the third one.
Yeah. Which it's funny to me that was the one that didn't get, it was Love Explosion that didn't get released in the US, the fourth one. There are 4 before Private Dancer. And Love Explosion was the one that
I liked the bluesy one at the end a lot. Love Explosion is definitely a song about jizz. And there was a lot of fart sounds, like whatever fucking electronic sound over and over in the song that sounded like farts. I thought that album was a little cheesy, but I paid really close attention for some reason.
On Love Explosion?
Yeah, Backstabber was fun, and Music Keeps Me Dancing was fun.
I did like the funky bass line on Music Keeps Me Dancing. There are so many, these first four, so many cover songs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense for what she's going for.
That's how it was back in the day, too.
And that's what she had kind of been doing with the review.
Well, yeah, and she's a singer.
Yeah. Yes, more than a songwriter.
So you kind of have to have other people write the songs for you.
So the first half of Acid Queen is all covers by the Stones, The Who, and Led Zeppelin. I liked the Stone stuff and I liked the Zeppelin stuff. I'm not a huge Who fan. It's kind of why Tommy was, whatever. But it was interesting.
I was surprised at how much I liked Tommy.
I'm not surprised by how much you liked it, if that makes sense.
It does. Just the way you talked about it, I was like, okay, well, I guess this is gonna suck. It does, but I love shit like that. I love weird rock operas.
It doesn't suck. It just I made it past Tina's scene and whatever. Again, main critique.
Did you get to Elton?
But yeah, I think that was actually the last thing I watched.
That was a primo scene.
Not enough.
Those fucking giant boots.
Not enough pinball.
Yes. One of the only reasons Elton agreed to do that movie was because they let him keep the giant boots.
Hey, you gotta get paid.
That sounds like something I would do. I literally tried to negotiate in one movie that I did to keep an Airstream trailer that they were using.
That would be.
They were this close to fucking letting me have it, and then they sold it to somebody. I don't know. They owed me money, so I was like, just give me that trailer, and we'll call it good. They ended up giving me money instead, which was actually better for me. Private Dancer, so good.
Song or the album?
Both. The cover of it with the fucking black cat was very witchy. I liked that.
Because there was a huge gap between Love Explosion and Private Dancer. And Private Dancer, like even in all the doc stuff, she's saying is her solo debut. Even though there were those 4 albums before, this was the one that was really like the breakout album. She did make a point that it, like, people like to call it a comeback album, but it wasn't really a comeback because she had never been like established. Like Tina Turner as herself had never been established. She was always kind of a product and doing what other people told her to do. So it wasn't as much as a comeback for her as like a coming out album or
just like a refresh or a leveling up.
Well, even for her, it was like the first thing she'd ever done that was her thing that she was in control of.
Yeah, she definitely had more control by this point. Yeah. This is peak Tina, if you ask me. I fucking love this album. This was one that was major on my radar my whole childhood.
Yeah.
My family was big Tina fans. So I had a lot of Tina in my life growing up.
So was this kind of a nostalgia listen?
Yeah, like Carr was always really super into Tina, which I always got a kick out of because you wouldn't think they would be, a little punk rock kid.
Yeah, it's a little showy.
Yeah, and it's very 80s but we just heard so much of it, and she's just so goddamn good. She's so fucking talented. Her voice is incredible, and her dance moves are fucking off the charts. Like, she's just so fucking talented. Well, I was like really, really into the Sonny and Cher show as a child. And Tina got on Sonny when it was mostly just Cher, and Tina and Cher like fucking went to town. They were like big homies after that because they both like had to deal with shit from their ex-husbands or whatever. Although Sonny wasn't a wife beater that I'm aware of.
I'm pretty sure Cher could take Sonny if it came down to it. I think he's a little guy.
So Private Dancer had so many good covers too. It's so crazy how you can see such a stark difference between certain cover artists that will not be named and other artists that we've done a lot of. This album slaps all the way through. I fucking loved it. And even the remastered version with like double the songs, I fucking just loved it so much.
Well, so talk about her doing covers. They do not sound like the original song.
Exactly. It's Tina.
Talking about Help, her angle on Help is such a different angle than what the actual song is.
It took me a minute to figure out that it was that song because I was like, I know all the words to this. I'm singing along to this. And then I was like, oh, fuck, this is the Beatles.
Yeah, it felt like it meant so much more with her rendition of it versus the like jangly Beatles, like pop, whatever.
For sure. Holy shit. She puts a whole new depth to that shit.
Yes.
She needs help. The Beatles, maybe not so much.
Yeah. All right. So how much did you look into like what led to this album coming out? Because to me, this is the story leading into this album. I mean, all the stuff with Ike and getting out of that and getting divorced is like pivotal to her, but like this is what should be remembered and celebrated.
Well, see, and this is the Tina I know, because in your mind, from your history of Tina, is you just knew of like Proud Mary, older stuff.
Yeah, I think I figured out why that is. It's because TV Land came out when I was in elementary school, and I used to watch a bunch of like Flip Wilson and the variety shows on there.
Yep.
But after they split, after they got divorced, she didn't have any money. Her records weren't doing well, and so she was on the Sonny and Cher show. She was on the Brady Bunch variety show. Like she did the variety show circuit as a solo act, and I'm sure that's what I ended up seeing a lot of. So it maybe didn't go back to like the 60s necessarily, but like I just associate her with those variety shows with Ed Sullivan and Flip Wilson and Cher and all that stuff, where she would come out on stage and do her act on stage, which she was doing in hindsight, or like knowing what I know now, she was doing because she needed the money.
I personally also watched those variety shows and loved that shit. But on top of that, my parents loved Tina throughout the 80s. So like they had all the 80s albums, and like my dad was super into Thunderdome, of course.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking
because
good.
Everybody should be, because it's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I promise you I'm gonna be Iron Bar for Halloween. That movie is so fucking good. And the album is so fucking good. Even just the instrumentals, like fucking killing it.
So all that stuff with her, like she got dropped by United Artists, who released those 3 albums in the US, and then Love Explosion was just in Europe. So she like didn't have a record deal. They were trying to get her on with Capitol. Capitol changed management teams and wanted to like drop her from the label. And her rep basically went in and like begged them to keep her on, and they said a bunch of racist shit, and then we're like, we are only going to produce this album, we will not promote it, so all you get is the album, and then that's it, like then we're done with you. And that album was Private Dancer, so like it comes out and sells 10 million copies or whatever, gets #1 on the R&B charts,
and they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, she toured. She played 177 shows to support this album, which is an insane amount of shows on an album cycle.
Well, fucking even when she was in the fucking Ike and Tina review or whatever, they were playing so many goddamn shows.
Well, and I think in between when she was playing Vegas, and I think she just always was doing that, even in the intervening years too.
It's no wonder she was so fucking ready to retire.
Right? She's got to be exhausted.
She's had fucking 5 careers in one, you know?
A bunch of the British artists had a really big hand in keeping her on Capitol and then kind of like hyping her up. Like Rod Stewart brought her out to perform with him on SNL in the 80s.
That doesn't surprise me because they have basically the same hair.
Yeah. I think he took a bunch of influence. But like Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, they toured together in the 60s.
Yeah, Mick Jagger was obsessed with her.
She taught him, like he credits her with teaching him how to dance and like how to basically perform on stage in a way that wasn't like, stand straight and play your guitar. He basically mimicked her movements on stage for his act. David Bowie at one of his listening parties told all the people that were there at his listening party that she was his favorite artist. I thought it was kind of nice that all these artists from the UK that she can
recognize talent, man.
They kind of paid it back to her in a time when she really needed it, and I think had a hand in her being able to reach the heights.
Keep going.
Not to credit them for her work.
Fuck no. She worked her balls off.
It was nice to see like when she needed some help, she got some help from these people when, they didn't necessarily have to.
They should. She's amazing.
They should. They did.
The talent speaks for itself. She's so fucking talented.
A lot of her songs are just songs that I don't attribute to an artist. Like What's Love Got to Do with It? It is just a song that exists. I don't really attach it to her.
That's funny.
Like it's a song you hear on the radio or is like just always around. I never really thought about the artist behind it or anything like it's just kind of in the atmosphere.
The documentary I just watched said she wasn't even crazy about that song.
Yeah, she actually didn't like it. Have you seen the original version?
No.
It's by this British band. Dude, there's like a slideshow of their promo pictures where they're all in like roller skates and little tiny shorts. And like they played the original version. It's doo-doo. Like it makes sense why she didn't like it. It's not a good song. And even this version is weird. Like listening to
I like it.
It's like weird Caribbean reggae vibe stuff.
Do, 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 do.
I didn't really ever attribute that.
But her voice is so amazing. I fucking love it.
Every single album. That's the most consistent thing from top to bottom on every single thing is her voice is incredible. On every style of song, on every song she sings on, like
her range is fucking out of this world.
How do you feel about Dire Straits?
I fucking love them.
Well, Mark Knopfler wrote Private Dancer. He wrote the song Private Dancer, and he played guitar on, I don't know if he played guitar on this album. Jeff Beck did some guitar work on this album, but Mark Knopfler, like on a few of her records, came in and did either production stuff or guitar stuff. Which, if you go back and listen to both Private Dancer and Steel Claw, both of those have like a very Dire Straits sounding guitar sound. And I think the band minus Mark Knopfler was like her backing band for a bunch of the stuff in the studio. So there's a really like direct connection between.
That's cool. That's really interesting.
Looking for the like artists and stuff that were on it or produced it or stuff. Finding Mark Knopfler and even Jeff Beck. And even on some of her older stuff, Ray Parker Jr., the Ghostbusters theme song guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Acid Queen. He played guitar on Acid Queen.
Nice.
Which I thought was pretty funny. So you did watch Thunderdome?
Of course. Any excuse to watch Thunderdome is all right with me.
Yeah. Man, I remember watching that and thinking it was like, man, this is kind of like goofy, kind of muppety, like kind of dumb. And I went back and watched it, and I think I had like missed the first half of the movie and only started paying attention once he gets to the like the little kid camp.
Yeah.
And it's like almost exactly like the Lost Boys or like Hook or something, you know, where he hooks up with all the kids and then goes on their little heist to break back in.
The hair person did those kids dirty.
That part was a little goofy. All that, like, I want Tina, I want Thunderdome. I don't care about, like, if the movie didn't follow Max when he gets kicked out into the desert and just stayed
with Tina.
Town, and I want to know what she's doing.
Yeah, totally. That would be way more interesting
in Bartertown than watch him.
Yeah, fuck Mel Gibson.
And then it would be really funny if he just randomly showed up with a bunch of like a little kid army, and
you're like, who the fuck are these kids?
How did he? I guess go hijack the train.
And I love how like Tina's like, respect, bro. I'll let you live.
Yeah, at the end she's like, you know what? We did our thing. We're done here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thunderdome's great.
So good. And then the next album I wasn't overly crazy about. It was a little bit cheesy. Like a slow 80s vibe. Not my fave. Not bad, but
it gets a little adult contemporary on the recordings. I think that she is a force and is like an entertainer and is worth watching and stuff. But like, if I'm being honest, after Private Dancer, I'll maybe Break Every Rule or Foreign Affair. I think is probably the second best or my second favorite out of the 80s stuff.
Yeah, that one was picking it back up. Kind of had some blues rock shit going on, which I liked.
I would rather watch live versions or listen to live versions because I feel like the 80s studio production just kills it for me. I just do not like the way that like well-produced 80s pop music sounds. It sounds detached, and it's like my least favorite vibe. And I think her 80s stuff really, in my opinion, suffers from that. I think it was current at the time, and I think if you like that type of music, it's a great example of that. I just don't really like that sound, which was kind of a bummer for what I think her iconic albums are for me. I think I would like the like live band version better than the studio recording version.
Part of my gripe with the last few albums is lyrically not it. Some of the songs felt kind of victim blamey, like State Fair. He hit me and it didn't even hurt. That vibe, you know? Yeah. I don't know. Some of the lyrics, I was like, is this all about Ike? Like, is she writing the stuff at this point?
I don't think she wrote any of her songs.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder, are the writers writing specifically for her, and are they trying to write shit that sounds lyrically like this? Because
the stuff that happened to her or whatever.
Yeah, like
a lot of her albums had huge production teams. Like, you know, one producer would work on 3 or 4 songs, another producer would work on 3 or 4 songs. The dude, Terry something or other, I think he was a pretty consistent producer that worked with her. He was in the documentary and was he was the one that brought her What's Love Got to Do with It, wrote a bunch of songs and produced a bunch of songs with her as well. The Best is another one of those songs. It's like, I didn't know that was a Tina song. I don't really associate it with a specific person. Honestly, that song makes me think of Schitt's Creek now.
Yeah, because that scene's so beautiful.
Yeah.
See, I knew that as a Tina song, so that made that scene even better for me. Oh my God, that scene is so beautiful. I love it. What a great choice of song.
Yeah, it was a good choice. So going back and listening to it in context with everything else, it still like that was the overwhelming like sense memory for me was that scene in Schitt's Creek. Those 3 albums in the 80s, Private Dancer, Break Every Rule, and Foreign Affair, to me that is
Private Dancer is peak Tina.
yeah.
That album is fucking incredible.
But I think that decade, I think that's a pretty good run of 3 albums, including the 4th one if you throw in the Mad Max soundtrack that she had some songs on too. Like that's when she's selling out stadiums. And
yeah.
Did you see any clips from the show in Rio?
I don't think so.
Had 180,000 people at it. It was the highest.
She's broken so many records.
Yeah, so many records. Like she
was the first Black person and first woman on Rolling Stone cover. She was the oldest person ever on Vogue magazine. Like she's done so many firsts and things.
That one was the biggest crowd of a paying show. Like there had been bigger crowds at like free shows, but that was the highest grossing single concert of all time.
So amazing.
She's the only woman to win a pop, rock, and an R&B Grammy. Like going through all this stuff is like she set all kinds of records for highest selling albums at the time and like highest grossing tours. She had the highest grossing tour in the year 2000, which is like
crazy.
That's post Spice Girls, man. Like,
yeah, that's post all kinds of shit. That's way different than Tina Turner.
But if you think about like Spice Girls as like pop commercialism tour megastars or whatever, like no, Tina Turner had made more money touring than they did, which I think is a testament to how many shows she played and how hard she worked on the road.
That one song that you had me listen to.
Oh, the little single.
I really liked it.
So it came out before Private Dancer. It's by, I think this is it's going to get into British stuff. You know, the Human League.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the dudes from the Human League broke off and made this other band called Heaven 17, which like when I think of 80s style production and like sound, Human League and this Human 17 band are like the poster child for the sound that I don't really like.
Interesting.
But they also had this thing called the British Electric Foundation, where they were basically making like electronic and house kind of music as a separate other side project.
Okay. That's making sense to me with this song.
They had Tina come in and do a guest, like she only did that song with them and they released it as a single and it was huge in England.
It was really good.
It was a great song. Yeah.
It was giving B-52s vibes to me. It was kind of like Maureen and Rent.
It felt a little more ahead of its time than the stuff on Private Dancer does to me. Like the Private Dancer stuff sounds more dated. That single sounded a little more like actually cutting edge to me, or like more timeless, I guess.
It sounded very B-52s and very Rent to me.
Ball of Confusion. That's the name of that song.
Yeah, it was so good.
But then those dudes, the Heaven 17 guys who are originally from Human League, they produced a huge chunk of Private Dancer. So her doing that single with them when she recorded Private Dancer in London. And I think really from this point on, she does most of her work in London. Like I think once she went to London, she didn't really come back to the US. I think she mostly recorded in London.
Well, yeah, then she moved to fucking Switzerland.
Yeah.
And live the rest of her life in Europe. She's like, fuck America, y'all are racist.
Yeah, they weren't exactly good to her.
She also was like wanting to get the fuck away from Ike. Like it made her feel a relief to know that he was on another continent, which is so sad, but I can relate to that feeling.
But to actually go and do it, you know what I mean? To have the...
Yeah, she's like, she relinquished her American citizenship, I think.
Yeah, she became a Swiss citizen in 2013 and then relinquished her US citizenship, got married
like,
in
fuck
Switzerland.
Y'all, I'm out of here.
Her second husband, the dude she met in the 80s, he's
like German.
Yeah, he's German. He was an EMI like executive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she just like became European.
Poor guy's still alive too. He was like 15 years younger than her, so he's still alive.
Poor guy.
Apparently he's super, super healthy though, because he gave Tina a kidney.
He seemed like a nice guy. He's in that Tina documentary too.
Oh, really? I haven't seen any footage of him, but I'm so happy that
he just seems nice. They just seem like such a nice little couple and they seem very happy. And it's like, oh, you guys deserve it.
Yes, it's so sweet. I'm so happy for her.
How do you feel about the 90s stuff? Because I know what I think the peak of her 90s output is.
What, 24/7 maybe?
GoldenEye. The James Bond theme song, man. Come on.
Sure.
Come on.
She was like, I heard that song and it sucked so bad. She was like, the fact that I made that sound good, like, that's when I realized I was really talented.
I think that that's a through note for a lot of her stuff. And I do think that some of this stuff is mediocre material at best.
Yeah, she's like, the shit they gave me to sing sucked, but I made it good.
Yeah, it's like only
she
good
did.
because she's singing it.
Yep, exactly.
There was the Barry White duo on Wildest Dreams, that same album that had the GoldenEye theme song, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, and she had covered one of his.
Yeah. The 90s songs, like, they sound a little more of the time, like, of the 90s, you know what I mean? I think they got a little more away from that 80s style reverb on everything sound.
I was just so focused on the lyrical content that I couldn't see too far past that.
See, I didn't get into too much. To me, I wasn't as concerned with the lyrics. You know what I mean? I don't feel like the lyrics are necessarily a reflection of her because she didn't write the lyrics. She's a performer and she is performing the songs. I don't feel like the songs are a reflection of her inner workings. The way that she views performing and like art, playing shows and working hard and all that stuff has a lot of value in it. I don't know. I don't feel like she's as tied to the lyrics of the songs, if that makes sense, because she didn't write them.
Yeah, totally. It's just they were unfortunately similar to her actual life.
Yeah. I'm sure that was not an accident.
I hope that she doesn't totally feel that way. Yeah, I know she doesn't because of the way she talked about it. Although she did give a lot of, she was way too nice to him. Like she felt sorry for him and she was one of those I can fix him kind of girls.
Yeah.
For that piece of shit.
Well, and even later she talked about like forgiving him and how not forgiving him actually makes it worse for her. And I was like, well, that's great. You can forgive him.
Buddhism, you go, girl. I fucking hate his guts.
I don't have to. Like, you're a better person than me, and I wasn't even directly involved in it.
She's a really good person.
She seems to be a really good person. Yeah. And have all things considered, have a pretty strong perspective on everything, like life.
Well, yeah, she said that she didn't like being portrayed as a victim because she fucking wasn't. She was like, I was an active participant in this and I was just doing what I needed to do to survive, kind of a thing. She was like, I was a really strong woman to put up with what I put up with, kind of a thing.
And to make it out on the other side and to not let herself be defined by it.
And she got out in a smart way. She planned ahead. She knew she wanted to get the fuck out of there for a very long time, planned ahead, like to start doing kind of solo stuff and start slowly getting her own shit going on so she could fucking leave him.
I'm telling you, I think she's the best commercial for Buddhism that I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
But she talked about how she looked at the stuff that was difficult, not as like a opportunity to feel sorry for herself or pity herself or whatever, but like, how can I turn this into something that A, makes me a better person, but like B, also helps other people identify with it? And then how can I use my skills and my talents to like show other people how to overcome difficulty and like be a real force.
She's
of, like,
the portrait of resilience.
Yeah, positivity and resilience. I had literally I knew all the Ike stuff. I knew all the backstory, but like in a very superficial way, and never really put her actual humanity into context as a piece of the puzzle. I really like thought about what she actually had to say as a person or artist.
I never really did either because growing up, listening to this stuff, I didn't know about any of this.
Yeah.
I had no idea until I was an adult and I already was super familiar and really liked her. I had no fucking idea that she was going through all that shit. So yeah, it just adds to her awesomeness.
All right, so here's a little tidbit. The last album, 24/7, it to me was the most we have officially reached adult contemporary status. There's a ton of acoustic guitar. It has some of that like light R&B slow jam vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. A, the song Talk to My Heart sucks.
I didn't take a single note on this album.
There was some stuff on this one that was like, okay, I actively do not like these songs on a few of them.
After Wildest Dreams, I was like, this is questionable content.
Yeah, like we're getting into this is no longer great.
Yeah.
Again, her voice sounds great. Like I think
she's incredible no matter what she does.
The songs themselves, not great. Listening to this after listening to Spice Girls and Chumbawamba is like, I can hear what Chumbawamba was doing on their songs in these songs, like the commentary that Chumbawamba was making with the songs that they were making as like 90s Brit pop stuff, and what the Spice Girls were doing as 90s British pop. There's a lot of that on 24/7, partially because some of the producers were that Absolute, the two dudes that wrote songs for the Spice Girls. They produced a bunch of songs on this album.
Interesting.
So there was a lot of like the weird like background sounds and like extra
Yeah, the
stuff.
farts, man.
There was so much of
Yeah.
that on here, and so that all reminded me of Chumbawamba because like half of their songs are fart noises.
Yeah.
And even the Spice Girls was just like that, like really house kind of like driving electronic beat stuff. There was a lot of that in here. There were a couple of good, like decent songs. I liked the last song on there. Bryan Adams played guitar on 2 of the songs on here.
He also played at their wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were friends.
It was my least favorite album, I think, out of all of them.
I liked the cover though.
But again, highest grossing tour after this album came out. She made over $120 million on the tour for this album.
That's wild.
Impressive. Because at this point, she's in her 60s.
Right.
That's crazy.
She did so much.
So much.
What a life.
What a life.
Well, she was so sick of talking about herself, but like people came to her, like Oprah came to her and said, you have to keep talking about yourself because your story helps people. And she said the reason she kept talking about herself and writing books and doing shit was because she got so many letters and shit talking about how much people needed to hear this shit.
Well, and I have not experienced any of the things that she's experienced. Like my life experience is wildly different from hers, and I haven't had to deal with any of the things that she had to deal with. But like I can still feel like inspired. Like her story is still inspiring to someone like me who is wildly different from who she was and what she went through. She does have, I don't know, a story worth sharing.
I mean, resilience is inspiring no matter who it is or what the circumstances are.
And I really hope that the context and the lens like shifts over time to where she gets credit for what she accomplished and not what she accomplished in the face of what somebody else was responsible for, somebody else's actions, but like she gets credit for what she did.
She's a bad bitch on her own. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It really sucks to have everything framed through that. And I hope that as time goes on, that happens. I hope that he is forgotten and becomes a fart in the wind and she
is a fart in the wind. Also, she was really big on psychics. And she went to a psychic that told her that she was going to get rid of him, basically, and be a huge star without him. And that's exactly what fucking happened. And also, back to what you were just saying, I find it very interesting that when she like sued him to have a divorce, the only thing that she asked for was to keep her name.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why she did it, because once everyone knows you as something, it's hard to like look at fucking Cat Stevens and Prince, you know, people who try to do a name change after everyone already knows them.
Yeah.
Like, we're not calling Prince the symbol. So like, I understand like once you get an identity established, it's really hard to change that, especially when you're so fucking famous. But also it like tied her to him forever in a way that I'm not crazy about. It just sucks ass that he like stole her fucking life away from her for so long that he's like a fucking barnacle on her for eternity.
I mean, I think you're right. I think it was kind of you tried to use this as a way to control me, but I'm going to take it and watch how I'm
taking it from you.
This name that you tried to put on me, like watch what I do with it without
Well,
me.
I will say, if you don't know who Ike is, that is a success for her, because I personally, growing up, being a fan of hers, I didn't know or give a fuck about Ike. I had never known anything about that. So, like, you know, I'd probably heard in passing her ex-husband, whatever. To me, it was always Tina Turner. To me, she's her own thing. The name was her. Kind of like what we were saying, how he was riding her coattails. That was just a part of that. It's definitely interesting because it does kind of tie them together. But like in her real life, people just call her her actual name, Anna Mae Bullock.
It's Anna. I heard her pronounce it. I read Anna Mae also thinking, you know, she's from Tennessee and it's Anna Mae, but Anna Mae. I think for the purposes of this, I'm glad we only did the solo stuff that we started in 74 and didn't go through all the stuff in the 50s and 60s. There is a ton of content there to talk about. Like there's a ton of music there to talk about. I think there's a lot in her childhood and stuff, but like I really appreciate and like really liked looking at it from the lens of her with her solo act getting the credit for who she was and her talent and that sort of thing versus having to dig through the muck and the mire of the first. Not to take away from what she accomplished during that time, but it was, I think, better to look at her solo career than it was to do the whole. Because I was kind of iffy about it. I was like, maybe I'll go back and listen to all that other stuff.
Did you?
No, I listened to a few songs, but I didn't go back and do the whole.
I fucking didn't listen to a single thing with him.
So we talked about artists in the 70s and like drug issues and that sort. Like, look at what happened to Sly. he got consumed by the dark side of the Church of Good Times.
Yeah, it's interesting how like wholesome Tina stayed.
And she overcame all of that in what would be extremely understandable of like, you know what? I'm going to do a bunch of drugs and like disappear from the world. And she had, I'm sure, opportunity and excuse to go down that road. And the fact that she overcame that and lived until she was 83 and continued to have like positive output and positive impact. I don't know. I came away really like today and yesterday. I just have come away so much more impressed with her as a human being than even as a performer or an artist.
Which is insanely impressive already.
I think she has an extremely iconic and like one of a kind voice. If I'm being honest, the recorded material doesn't do much for me as a whole.
A lot of it back in the day was about the live shit.
There's some peaks in there, but there's some stuff that like I probably won't go back and listen to deep cuts on some of these albums. I think her singles are going to be kind of where I circle back to them. But really what I want to do now is go watch a bunch of live videos and live shows, because she threw in a bunch of other covers that didn't end up on albums or end up getting recorded. And it just, that to me captures her personality and energy and style. I feel like some of the studio albums are missing that a little bit.
She did amazing with what she was given, like the music and stuff.
I just wish that some of it would have been like live performed in the studio.
Did you listen to any of the live albums?
No.
Those are fun.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's where I will go back and dig a little deeper, I think, because I'm more curious about those versions than I am hearing the recorded versions again.
She's a good artist to listen to the compilation albums, like the Simply the Best has Simply the Best songs on it.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming. Would you talk about recommending Tina to people?
Yeah, I mean,
but how would you do it? Would you do, I mean, is it compilations the way to go? I honestly think Private Dancer
that
is
or
the like,
Private Dancer.
You have to listen to Private Dancer. Like, that is the one that is like,
that's peak Tina. That's Tina.
It contextualizes everything before then and after then. It's the crux of her whole story, because imagine if that album didn't do well, what could have happened? And the fact that it did, and she got to continue making hit records and go on huge tours and that sort of thing, like that album I think owes to the fact that we're still talking about her today, even if it's not my like favorite album that I've ever heard. I think that it is the best way to like look at the story of her career.
Yeah, it's so interesting how like somebody we and everyone else in the fucking world can agree is so fucking insanely talented. And yet when you like listen to most of the studio albums, it's just like, this isn't my thing. And I feel like probably a lot of people would feel that way. But yeah, definitely Private Dancer and Simply the Best. I grew up listening to those two a bunch. So they're, I think, really fucking good places to start, because that's what got me hooked. In one of the, I think in her book, which was really good, by the way. It was really nice because the I, Tina was all about, you know, that was written in 1986. So that was like all about the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Because only bad stuff kind of had happened at that point, or mostly bad stuff. And she, you know, pointed out the good stuff too. She was very fair. And that's another thing about that I love so much about her, is I feel like she's very fair when she talks about stuff. She's not necessarily sugarcoating anything. Like, she's states the facts and is in a very like even tone. She's such a strong, badass. I don't know. I'm super impressed, and everyone is obviously, but she's just very impressive as a human to be so like able to. And that's what she said. I mean, she's like, I was a strong woman for being able to deal with all that shit. And it's like, yeah, you fucking were, and to do it in such a dignified manner as well. You know, like, big fan.
Big fan of the story, big fan of her as a person. I don't know that I will describe myself as a big fan of the music.
I'm a big fan of her talent, her voice.
Yes. Definitely.
And a lot of her music I'm a big fan of. Not all of it, not even most of it. But again, it's not necessarily her music, because other people are writing this shit. I would be so interested to hear like her sing other writers' songs, you know, like,
yeah.
To see what somebody else would have done with her.
I have a feeling that in the next 10 years, we'll probably see unreleased tracks. And you listen to a bunch of the extra extended albums, right? With like extra tracks.
Well, yeah. And her cover of Legs, the ZZ Top song, which is one of my faves. It fucking came out in 2024. That's her latest release on Spotify.
I think we'll start seeing unreleased tracks and covers and that sort of thing. It was interesting to me to see that like they recorded Private Dancer. Like she spent like 2 weeks in the studio, you know? So it wasn't like this long, like we've crafted this thing for 8 years or whatever. It was like, no,
Right.
get in there, sing these 10 songs and let's get this thing out.
Well, and I feel like that's sort of how it was back in the day too. Like, especially if you're singing other people's songs. It's not like you're going in the studio to write. You're going in to simply record shit that's already written for you.
Or that you're trying to like piece 5 people's equal vision, you know, like as a band or whatever into one thing. It was like she was the artist, you know.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to hear the connections, how she's connected with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, she covered a Sly and the Family Stone song.
Oh.
The song Private Dancer was originally intended to be sung by Cliff Richard, who is one of the people, the one that they want to crucify in the Chumbawamba song, I Want More, or they're going to take him out and crucify him. That's Cliff Richard, who was originally going to sing What's Love Got to Do with It. It
Wow.
was written for him. So that was
That's quite the connection.
That's a tenuous connection, but
that was good. Wait, go back. What was the cover of Sly?
Oh, I Want to Take You Higher. It was in the 60s, I
yeah,
think.
Sure.
Yeah, Absolute was the songwriting duo for the Spice Girls that produced her last album, which they were doing at the same time they were writing Spice Girl songs. Like those dudes were doing some work in 1999. It's a big year for them.
I bet they were making a fuckload of money too.
On the album Rough, she sang Funny How Time Slips Away, which was originally written for Patsy Cline.
Fun. I'm going to re-listen to that and imagine Patsy singing it.
But that's pretty... Oh, her connection to Tribe was Elton John. On Rough, she covered The Bitch Is Back.
Yes.
And then Tribe, Elton John was on Tribe's last album. They sampled the song and I think he sang on it. One of their last songs.
I feel like she's got more connections to other people for some reason. Like, I wonder if Cat Power ever covered anything that she...
Oh, I'm sure. It's hard going back doing it in reverse.
Here's another connection for your chart.
There you go.
That Tina and Beyonce performed Proud Mary together at the Grammys in 2008.
In 2008?
Yeah.
Well, that connects Beyonce. Okay, well, so we're going to stay in... Are you ready for my pick for next week?
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're going to stay in the same initial era. This band does have some contemporary stuff, but this is one of the main reasons I'm picking this artist. This is a genre we haven't really delved into yet. So we're going to get into some styles of music. I feel like we've covered a lot of stuff. There's going to be one that we haven't really talked about yet, which hopefully is going to kind of open up some avenues and have some, connections to artists that haven't really been brought in at this point. They have 18 albums. Their first one came out in 1980. Oh, no, 1979. So they bridge all the way back to the 70s. Their most recent album came out in 2021. So they've been releasing music consistently.
Oh my God. You always pick bands with too many fucking albums.
That's the fun part for me. But we're not going to go in depth on each album, I'm sure.
Yeah, but having to listen to them is bad enough.
Yeah, I think you might hate me after this one. I think I might hate me, but it also has the potential to be super fun. Like, this could be a real rad experience.
Okay.
The next band is Iron Maiden.
Oh, I like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's
I did not see that coming at all.
I know very limited knowledge of their music. And I really am kind of psyched. I think I know some of it is going to be awesome. I know that there's going to be a point where I'm like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And I also think that there's going to be a point where I'm like, I got to listen to something. 17 albums is a lot of albums.
I'm fucking excited actually about this.
So I think this would be pretty fun. And they release the album every 3 years. So it's not like they're consistent. It's not like there's a big gap, or anything. The biggest gap is
I didn't even realize they were still releasing shit. That's so funny.
2001.
Okay, so my Wheel of Death pick is going to be in response to Tina, not in response to Iron Maiden.
Okay.
So my Wheel of Death choice is sort of the same era as Tina, but a cheesier version.
Okay.
Just someone that people view less seriously than Tina. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with MC Hammer.
Oh, dude, he almost made it on my list. I really thought about like it would be funny to listen to do like an MC Hammer, especially since we've done Tribe and Beastie Boys that were both releasing music.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't like. I like what I know of MC Hammer, so it's not necessarily like a Wheel of Death.
It will be horrible to listen to.
Yeah, but it is something that I don't necessarily take super seriously. So I felt like it could belong on the Wheel of Death.
Honestly, so far that's like cross your fingers.
The most exciting one. Yeah, no shit.
MC Hammer has an album called The Funky Headhunter.
How many albums does he have?
5. All right, bro. Well, we got 17 Iron Maiden albums to get to. I'm gonna listen to some Iron Maiden today. I'm psyched.
Fucking me too. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this is gonna be something.
Thanks for listening to Retro Spectrum. Hit us up on socials at Retro Spectrum Pod. And if you like what we do, be sure to leave a 5-star review on all podcasting platforms. And subscribe to our Patreon at Retro Spectrum Pod. See you next time. Bye.